This here is Backwoods Billy coming to you to the beautiful Delmarva Eastern Shore. We're a little after 3 o'clock p.m. here now. We had temperatures surpass 80 degrees, another record-breaking day in March for the Delmarva Eastern Shore. Anyway, today I'm going to review something called Shock Top Belgian White. They have a pretzel beer, an apple beer, a cranberry beer. I have not had the chocolate as of yet. I heard that was out there. As you can tell by the shirt, one of the beers that I like. Blue Moon has another wheat beer as well. It's called a wit beer. Basically, it's a white wheat beer. With this type of beer, typically, I've seen a lot of reviews, and why I'm doing this, so Pissedooff, it is unfreaking real. I see people reviewing beers and comparing this stuff to an IPA and then slamming it, or they say it's unfiltered, it's cloudy. Well, guess what, jackass? It's supposed to be cloudy. It's supposed to be hazy. That's the style of the beer. And if you're going to do something, there's a PCJ, it's a professional judging certificate you can go get. Why don't you go do that? And then you can critique a beer and be critical and slam it. If you notice, judges never do that. They'll take a brewer and show them where there's room for improvement. This beer meets all the standards for the style of beer which it is. Now, this was resurrected in the 1960s. In Belgium. It was brewed since medieval times prior to that, and wheat beer is supposed to be unfiltered, naturally carbonated in the bottle. That's part of the criteria to it. And if you look at the pretzel beer and all the beers, they have a thing on the little, I don't have a bottle of this, but it comes in bottles, 12 ounce and 16 ounce cans. It says in here to serve from, pour down the side of the glass until 1/2 inch is left in the bottle. Swirl and pour remaining brew to release the aroma and flavor. Okay, basically what happens with this type of beer is their flavor additives, spices, which, by the way, for people that are reviewing lagers, adjunct waters, and using the word adjunct is junk, jackass. Adjunct is anything that's in your grain bill that basically is not your typical grain. For example, molasses, honey, corn, rice, unmalted barley. Ta-da! Unmalted! Yay! Guess what? It's called an adjunct. Anyway, a lot of people slamming lagers have no clue what they're even doing. Somebody slammed a lager that won a 2015 award and called it adjunct. Guess what, jackass? It's not a derogatory terminology. Anyway, Shock Top is actually a good tasty beer. I'm going to tell you ahead of time, when you pour this, it meets all the criteria. Basically, you're going to get the cloudy, like hay color to this that you're going to see when it pours. You're going to get the head. And one of the reasons it has a good head is it actually has basically a 50% or higher content of wheat, and that gives you, I guess I'll do the 12 ounce. It's a little colorness. This is 16 ounce. I'll tell you another neat thing about this. This has a smooth can. You can see what the bottles are like here, and this can, if you run your hand along it, you can feel it. It's actually raised, so you're looking at like you feel different textures on the can, which I think are kind of cool when you go around, almost like Braille, but it's not. It's just kind of a different thing. These I've seen everywhere, anywhere from $3 for $3 or $5 for $5. So $1 a piece for a 16 ounce, which is cheap. You can look at like your cheaper beers like Miller, which are 92 cents for, you know, the same amount. Not a bad deal. This is a 15 pack of 12 ounce. It came for $15.99, and I've seen it cheaper than that, more expensive than that, somewhere in that category. But I wanted to show that. Now, I had bottles, but I drank them a while ago. I can't find the bottles right now. It's just what it is where you find stuff in the liquor store. Now, as you can see from the pour, and as you can see, we're going to do this.
Party foul, party foul, party foul.
Party, I know. Part of the problem with some of the cans is it comes right there with a big wide mouth. But anyway, you can see automatically, I've seen people say, it has little head. That's because you're serving it warm, jackass. This beer was designed to be served cold. That's part of the process of how this beer is fermented. It uses what's called a top cropping yeast, means it takes a lot of, when it actually ferments, it takes a big portion of the top because it's a big head. Also, because it has the wheat content, it creates head retention, which we have here, and it has, you know, a good amount of lacing, not the best lacing, but it has lacing like it's supposed to. It's cloudy, and if you know what we call the ever effence of it coming up, which are little tiny bubbles, which is the carbonation. There's a lot of carbonation like it's supposed to have. When you smell it, you get a little bit of the malty and a little bit of the bready smell from the wheat to it. You also pick up the Saul's is very floral hops, and you pick that up. You can pick the coriander up, and you can pick the fruit up, which is they use both citrus, so what they're saying by that orange, lemon, lime type of thing. Usually they use a bitter orange peel, but it has a lot of the things that brew this. This and Blue Moon are similar, and I reviewed a beer which may be posted out of order, Dogfish Namaste, which is a lot more expensive than this, which is clearer, which is acceptable for this style of beer. Cloudy is preferred. Okay, the mouthfeel of this is medium, and it's going to be slightly heavier than some other beers to be lighter because of the fact that you're going to have a little bit of your yeast in there. Now the yeast also can impart flavors like clove, banana, bubblegum, and other spices, which may in other beers be considered undesirable. But for this style of beer, it's considered desirable. That's because it's fermented at a higher temperature, and you release those types of flavor compounds and esters that create this type of flavoring to the beer. Also, with them adding coriander, you're going to pick up, like with this, you pick up a peppery spice to it. When you drink it, and a slight pepper aroma, a very slight though, on the aroma. So you can smell the coriander, which is, and you get it finishes dry, which is what this beer should do. So it hits every category of what the beer is supposed to be. It hits. When you judge a beer, I've seen people grading beers on 1 to 5. Which I don't care if that's what you're supposed to do. It's impossible to grade a beer of 1 to 5 or 1 to 10. It's just bullshit. They do this crap to create a romance and everything else. If you look at a good beer magazine, and you look at like Garrett Oliver, he doesn't rate beers 1 to 5 or 1 to 10. Your better judges are going to say to you, it has a fluffy head, it doesn't have a good head, the lacing is good, or whatever. They'll tell you exactly what it is. And this hit all the marks. Does it hit the marks of the criteria? This all the marks of the criteria. Is it hazy? Is it cloudy? This is cloudy. That's what it's supposed to be. And the idea is to shake the beer around a little bit as you begin to pour it, and you get a little more of the spices and yeast. And there's unfiltered beer is what this is supposed to be. I saw people say it's unfiltered. Well, welcome to the world. That's what it's supposed to be, unfiltered beer. I like this beer. I go to Backwoods Billy, 2 thumbs up. It hits every single criteria that it's supposed to be for the category. It's a light tasting beer. It's not going to overpower a dish. In my opinion, this would go really good with grilled chicken, cheeses, seafood such as mussels, steamed steamed oysters, fried oysters, raw oysters, grilled oysters, steamed crabs. Pardon me?
Sauteed oysters.
Sauteed oysters, just sauteed oysters, fried crabs, which we do the hard crabs. They're fried. You can also fry a soft crab too, and steamed crabs, which are big on the Eastern Shore. It would go with all those dishes, and would go well with fish as well. A milder fish, like a flounder or something along those lines, we go very well with. This is what it's supposed to be. It's also meant to be served cold. So if you're going to be out fishing on the boat, fishing on the dock, you're going to be taking a hike or something like that when you're done working out. This is the type of beer, it's a refreshing beer for you. This is not overpowering, overhopped. It's light, it finishes dry. When you judge a beer, and I want to put this out there, you're supposed to judge the beer based on the category of the beer. So I would not judge this against an IPA, a stout, a porter, a sour. You're not supposed to do that. It's supposed to be judged where the style is supposed to be. It's first of all, I see so many people that actually put reviews online that they hated IPAs, and then after drinking them for a while, if you drink crap long enough, you'd probably like it, crap water. But anyway, that now they like it. If you don't like it, don't drink it. I don't understand. Years ago when I was younger, I actually had a bartender's license. In Maryland, you were allowed to tend bar prior to being even 18, and then it moved around 20. You could actually go as long as your parents signed something. I did it for a catering service, one of the larger catering services here. It had multiple locations and served people. Charged money like 10 grand for an event. 5 grand was minimal, unless you're doing like an officer retirement party, 2,000. But anyway, the owner, Marty Resnick, who I don't know if he's still alive today or not. Either way, his son's an asshole. But he actually came to me one time with a few of the managers, and they had this bottle of expensive ass scotch, and this is back in like 1981, 82. It was $5,000 plus a bottle, his cost, which means it would retail for more. And he went on about what a great tasting scotch this was, and he poured everybody a little bit of scotch. And I said to him I didn't like it. And he told me that I did not have the appropriate palate, and it would take me a while drinking this to acquire the proper taste and appreciate this, and you would need to drink this for a period of time to like it. You know what? That's like the king has no effing clothes. I'm sorry you're looking at me that way. I'm sick and tired of people saying stuff that have no clue what they're saying. If you're going to pay $5,000 for something that requires you to have an acquired taste for it because it's the in thing to do, then you're an idiot. I'm going to say it just like that.
Be true to yourself.
Yeah, if you don't like something, if you like Budweiser, drink Budweiser. Just because somebody says it's not good, there's nothing wrong. But it's another thing. I see people slam it. I'll tell you something. Budweiser is probably the cheapest beer to produce, bar none, out there most. And I mean by that, as far as profitability, what they charge for it, to what they actually make on it. However, that does not mean it's a bad beer. What I'm saying is somebody that drinks Budweiser would slam somebody for paying more money for a craft beer. In reality, that brewery made more money off you than a person that paid $12 for the six-pack. But that being aside, this is brewed by, AB InBev, which owns Anheuser-Busch now. It's a good beer. To me, a craft brewery is a craft brewery, and what I mean by craft, there's so many definitions of craft brewery, I don't even know. But the reality is they're still trying to figure half this crap out, because some stuff's not even called a beer anymore. It's called a FMB, flavored malt beverage, because they don't even know. And there's different categories what they say a craft brewery is. It used to be called a nano brewery, micro brewery, blah, blah, blah. Think of nanite, or if you look at a nano and an iPod, that means small. Micro is like a microscopic. And then you would get into, for example, macro, meaning large. Look at economics, macro versus micro. Large, for example, the U.S. or the world versus a state. Anyway, don't want to get too much into that. But anyway, the idea of this is, to me, a craft brewery means craftsmanship. That you're going to pay somebody a little more money for something because they use better materials. They put more time into it, have more education, more ability to create something more artistic in their approach. Hence, a craftsman. Now, that's my definition. Somebody's definition of craft brewery may be, and there's nothing wrong with this, that it's a local brewery to the area and you're supporting it. That is also acceptable. If you want to do it, that's fine, but then be honest and say that. And if you're somebody that says that you're going to slam a brewery because of the fact that it's owned by Anheuser-Busch or Miller Coors, then you know what? F you, in my opinion. Because in my opinion, you're not judging the beer for what it is. You should judge something not based on who makes it, but is it good or is it crap? Period. Does it meet the criteria? If you say I don't like this style of beer, you shouldn't judge it. It is that simple. I like all styles of beer. And if I judge a beer, I will judge it based on how it meets its criteria for the category that it's in. This hits every single note. Now, I would say, like Dogfish Namaste, actually is clear, which it's clear, so it's filtered. Now, is that acceptable? Yes. If this is being judged, though, this and Blue Moon are actually in the category. Now, Blue Moon is an exact copy. I think the gentleman's name, I think in the 1960s, he actually came up with, revamped the style in Belgium and made his village famous for rebrewing this. And of course, it took off, and everybody's brewing it. The thing about these types of beers, you can see there's a pretzel beer, they have a cranberry beer, an apple beer, which, by the way, the first one I had, the apple I didn't like, and after that, I took the second one. I like the apple beer, it's a little bit tart. But it's good. They have a lemon beer, I like that. I haven't had the chocolate. But I've had Blue Moon's beers, I like Blue Moon's beers. I've had like Dogfish, which is a far more expensive white beer. It's good, but you have to relate it to what it is. So this is me my bitch session for the day. If you're going to judge something, learn what your criteria are, learn what the flavor profiles, because if you taste the beer, it's got bubblegum, and it's not a white beer, guess what? A drink that's supposed to have that, then it probably is wrong. There's several types of wheat beer. You have a rye beer, the wheat beer, what's the other one's a dark wheat beer. Anyway, there are all these beers that are just because it means this is also considered adjunct because it has adjunct beer because of the fact that it has wheat in it. The higher protein content in it does several things. There's a book called The Chemistry of Beer. I advise everybody to read it. A little more higher level, but it will educate you a little more how beer is brewed. This is probably one of the simplest beers to brew.
And they got a cute car.
Oh yeah, Shock Top. My wife likes their car. They have a little orange Volkswagen with a little dude on it, and we live in Annapolis to see it around a lot, and I've seen it down here a few times. And also another thing that really, I hope everybody watches. Really,
majorly branding.
They brand it, but here's the big thing: when you go to these beer festivals, for example, the World Beer Cup, the American Beer Festival, which by the way, that's what's judged. But I'm judging this by the same criteria that they use. They judge a beer in these competitions. What I'm doing. But I'm making it in simple terms so everybody can understand. Anybody that rates a beer from 1 to 5, in my opinion, needs somebody to put their foot up their ass. But anyway, there's no way to do that. It's just impossible. But anyway, they sponsor these competitions. Without companies like Anheuser-Busch, Miller Coors, which Bishop was slamming, the whole thing started out, when they put the money in, they put the money in these competitions so they can be put on. They also sponsor these little craft beer festivals we go to. You pay $40 a ticket, $25 a ticket too. These guys are the ones that put the major dollars that help the people that do these things have the money to do advertising on radio, TV, print, newspaper, internet. This all takes time and money to get this crap set up. So these companies come in and put the money up, and I see people out there slamming it. And this whole thing started and should be stopped by the craft beer industry because, in my mind, you're becoming assholes. Dogfish, for example, I forget the owner's name, Surround, he's local in the Delmarva store. He actually has a book more about business. It's an interesting read, by the way. He basically talks about how he went out and basically slammed a lot of top breweries, not because he really agreed with that, because he knew picking on Goliath, if they picked back on him, they look wrong. It's like they're picking on a smaller person. Secondarily, these guys control the market share, dude. I mean, Miller, which now has been Gallup, AB, and anyway, they control most of the market. They don't even care about these. They're right now in China. China has number 1, number 2, and number 4 the top selling beers in the world. So they're all gobbling that crap up. The reality is they're into this a small bit because they see a potential for it. But they also own Goose Island. But they put the money to sponsor these events that you go to and enjoy probably. And if it wouldn't be for these companies, guess what? They wouldn't have that craft beer festivals. They wouldn't have the money to start it up. Bada bing. I like them. So I tell you what, they come out there to give away the T-shirts. They have a nice sampling of the beer, and I like a lot of craft breweries. I just don't like somebody picking on somebody because of the fact that, hey, there's a big company that brews it. So fucking what? Excuse my French, but so what?
If you like it, you like it.
You like it. If it's a good beer, it's a good beer. That's like saying, and you have to understand, any beer can, I gotta put this a little more, I mean, I know I say backwoods, but we live in the woods and all that, but this old hillbilly right here is an educated hillbilly with an advanced degree. Let me tell you something. Anytime that you look at anything, you can look at motorcycles, for example, look at Harley Davidson cruisers. Honda makes screwed over. Cruiser's a bike that you see, like people think of Harley Davidson. You ride and it's like sitting on your lounge there. I like the bike. Also a sport bike. Sport bikes are different in the fact that you actually ride them a little more on top and kind of leaned over. The sport bike, in essence, has a different center of gravity. So a cruiser will have a bigger turning radius on the bars, okay? A sport bike turns more by leaning it. You can't turn the bars that much, but you can really lean that bike into a turn. It has more power, goes faster, not as comfortable as a ride. Look at Rolls-Royce, Ferrari, Hyundai. I should be able. What was Toyota? Was it Prius? What's that thing called? The little car that you could
Prius.
wind up. Prius. All right. Some little crap I never owned. Anyway, that car is designed basically the Toyota to be very economical. It's an economical car. That's what it means. It's going to gobble a little gas, and be good for the economy. It's green. Okay. Oh, I like to get into that. But anyway, the Rolls-Royce is designed to be very luxurious. When you ride, it's like riding on air. The Ferrari is designed to go from 0 to 100, 0 to 60 very fast and take turns very fast.
And it looks sexy too.
It looks sexy as hell. Also, I could say we could look at like somebody that built a Chevelle or something or a Nova and put a big block in it, and this thing is nose heavy as all hell. It's jacked up, but it'll go down a quarter mile fast as crap. You can't take a turn. It rides rough. Look at the old Hummer. It's a military Hummer. It's meant to go over stuff, high terrains, go through water. Land Rover, Ranger, same type of thing. Go over that type of stuff, go through the woods and not get damaged. Does not have the best ride. The Ferrari can take turns very fast. It's good in a quarter mile, but it's a little bit rougher ride. They call it road feel. But you can't compare one vehicle to the other because they're each designed. It's called design parameters. For the love of God, before you judge a beer, put yourself online and do this stuff and slam these companies. Learn what the criteria of the beer is to be judged by, and then do it. I've seen people that say stuff, and I'm looking at 2000. What was it, Landshark? Which, by the way, I'm going to judge that. 2015 award-winner tropical beer class, and somebody's saying how what idiot started this shit about a clear bottle? Yes, you're right. Clear bottle is going to, and I say that too. Clear bottle is going to let light in. Okay, these beers are not designed with the clear bottle to be sitting around for next year and you drink it. It's designed to be put out and drank. Those beers are made to be drank. When you get a Corona Extra, they're not meant to sit on the shelf for a year. Okay. The clear bottle, it actually degrades the hops if it has direct sunlight, okay, getting to it. If it's stored in your closet, it's not getting direct sunlight. If it's stored in a refrigerator, but when I did the beers I just did, I got a thing on there, I used plastic Pepsi bottle. By the way, plastic will let air in too, but neither here nor there. Clear plastic 12-ounce Pepsi bottles, because of the fact they were cheap, We got $7, not going to break. Anyway, I put them, I put it in that. There's nothing wrong with that. It works. I'm just saying that you can't say what that's wrong if the person is going to intend to drink it rather quickly. A lot of beers do that. It's clear. It can say, in my opinion, it'd be better if it was in a darker bottle because of the fact that it wouldn't degrade as fast with sunlight. Okay, just like this is a twist-off cap. Okay, a twist-off cap is going to have a tendency to let oxygen in quicker than a pop top will. Okay, I don't like twist-off caps anyway, but a lot of people like them, and the market that this is geared towards, generally going to twist it off. They're on a boat or whatever. They don't have a bottle opener. They can do it. The beer can is the best one because there's no light degradation whatsoever to the beer. It's completely sealed from any oxygen, so the can's actually the best unit you're going to get to put the beer in to last for a long period of time. There are certain beers you cellar. That's not one of them. I'm sorry. I started rambling because I got so ticked off about people reviewing beers, and I saw people that like this on a couple of the and other people come by and criticize. I'll tell you, if somebody criticizes me, I'll give you my freaking address. Come here and criticize me to my face. See how well it does for you. But anyway, I don't want to criticize. I just think you're going to do something, learn a category, and then you can talk about it intelligently instead of saying, for $1 for a beer, for 60, that's cheap as shit. $15.99 for this. Now I also buy, was it Natty Boh? $14.99 a case, $15.99 a case was the 30-pack. That's an economical beer. It is a Bohemian-style Pilsner. It's nice, it's light, it's refreshing, it's great served ice cold on a summer day. It's a nice beer. More where I grew up, Baltimore type thing. And I see other people come, well, I got something, I got an insect in my beer now. But I can't blame the beer company because of the fact that the insect, now we got 80-some degree weather, flew into my beer. That's because I'm outside doing a beer review and I was too stupid to put my cover on it while I'm jabberjawing. But anyway, it has the aroma. Is nice. It's slightly, it's got the floral to it. You can pick up the orange, the coriander, a little bit of fruity like banana type of thing. That's probably the yeast. They use a 3944, I believe, Y yeast strain. Anyway, it's a Belgian yeast strain that they use. Now, that being said, this is specifically designed to do this. It's supposed to do certain yeast strains to understand that. It's designed as this type of beer. And there's literally hundreds of yeast strains. But anyway, 2 thumbs up for this in my opinion. Pick up a 6-pack today. And better yet, this glass bottles are anywhere between $7.99, $8.99. Sometimes you'd be lucky for $6.99. These are 3 for $3, 3 for $5 in our area. Much more economical. And I just got this because 12 ounce is a little easier to do a review with. But anyway, thanks for your time. I'm sorry if I went longer with this. I just get so frustrated when I see reviews, somebody slamming something that if not for them, a lot of these craft beer festivals wouldn't be happening. You look at any beer magazine for a judging event, Miller Coors, they're the ones doing the spot. They're one of the largest sponsors. Anyway, thanks for your time and have a great day.